Hey, welcome back. Today we're having a look at a Game Boy Color that I picked up for, I think it was £10 at a charity store. It came with one of these, which included a link cable, and the Game Boy itself is in pretty good condition and it works. It also came with Mario Brothers Deluxe, which is nice. But it has a bad case of battery terminal rot due to some leaking batteries. So we're going to take it apart today. I'm not going to do too many modifications other than replacing the glass panel and also look at the capacitor inside to see whether we need to replace that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on it. You can see there's crap falling out of it already. I'm going to start taking it apart and yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm just using the tri-wing kit, well, the multi-bit kit from iFixit, which includes multiple tri-wings, which is nice. And there we go. You can see there is fair amount of it looks like a little bit of corrosion along the bottom here. That appears to be where the batteries have leaked and sort of sat there over time. But otherwise, if it wants to give you a bit of a better focus, I guess not. Definitely need to pick up a better camera. Otherwise, it's in, let's see if we can, that's even worse. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Yeah, it's in not terrible shape, but I've definitely seen better condition PCBs. On the back case here, I'm going to take out the steel panel and we'll go ahead and clean the back here, and then we'll continue with the board. I'm going to grab some water and we'll do this off screen, the little cleaning section on the back here. So I'll be back in a second. So there we are back. It is a lot cleaner. It's still a little bit wet. I just wanted to get most of the sort of heavy debris off. There was quite a bit of sort of large chunks. It also looked like there was sawdust, something similar in there, which is never a great start. So let's see if that's helped. So normally these would have like I know on the other models they have like clips that hold them in. I don't see that for this one, but again, it's in really bad shape, so. And there we go, it did come out. The little tab that I was trying to push down on looks to be slightly corroded. You can see there the, if it's gonna focus, this tab sort of slots in, and this is what I was trying to grab, this little tab to push it through. But yeah, it looked like it didn't want to go. What I'm going to do just to preserve this is grab one of my favorite tools, which is Fibreglass Pen, which I'll show you in just a second. So yeah, this is a fiberglass pen. It has fiberglass fibers in this tube, and it just sort of helps with the removal of debris or anything sort of stuck to. Normally I would use it for cleaning up a PCB if there was corrosion or if I needed to get to a contact. But you just sort of use the pen to scrape off the corroded sections. It might be kind of hard to see, but it comes up pretty well. Yeah, you sort of just knock off the corrosion and it comes back to life. Pretty easy. I'm also going to grab just a little one of the bits and just sort of try to straighten up the springs here. It looks like there was at one point an expanded battery had pushed the terminals out, which just means that it makes a not perfect contact when it slits back in. But yeah, we'll go ahead and put that back in, and yeah, we should be good to go. Oh, it would help if I put it in the right way around. So what are we looking at? Positive, positive, negative, negative. That way, right? So if it was like that, we would have that way. There we go, much better. So you can see there, it's much better aligned and there's no trash in that section. We'll give this a moment to dry out and we'll keep going. So we've got some debris on the actual PCB as well. So I'm gonna chuck some isopropyl. This is, well, MG Chemicals ISO. Chuck it on there and just give the board a once over. Now, one thing to note is that the positive terminal on the actual board is in pretty rough shape. It would be easy enough to replace. I may remove it. Well, I'm going to remove it and we'll clean it up. But I'll give the rest of the board just a quick once over first. Perfect, so let's grab a soldering iron and we'll heat it up and we'll remove this contact. Just to help it, help to remove it, I'm just going to add a little bit of new flux here, new solder here as well. And hopefully it doesn't get too hot. Which is one of the problems when removing metal contact. Let's grab a pair of pliers, or tweezers, sorry. So I can't get that off. I tried removing the contact, but it doesn't want to budge, and I don't want to press it too hard. It has been through quite a bit. So instead I'll try cleaning it up in place, and we'll go from there. All right, so we'll keep going. The next thing we'll have a look at doing is just cleaning up the front panel. So that to one side, and here we go. Buttons aren't in terrible shape. But we don't want to damage the screen. Go. It was just a bit of pressure along the edge there to unstick the adhesive. Come on. There we go. It's in really good condition for its age. Doesn't appear to have any damage or anything on it. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take the front plate here. I'm gonna replace the glass as well, just because it is slightly scratched, well, the plastic, and we'll put a glass panel on it instead. But yeah, I'll be back in a second once I've got this cleaned up. I'll just take the buttons with me as well so we can get those freshened up. Yeah, and I'll be back shortly. Alright guys, there's the front panel there, a lot cleaner. It's got some alcohol residue still on it, which is why it looks a little bit damp. I find that the alcohol just allows the device to straighten up a little bit better as far as like liquid goes. It sort of forces it to, what would you say, like it dries a little bit quicker and forces it to dry it out where it needs to. I've just noticed a little bit of debris also in the cart slots. A bit hard to see, so I'm just gonna clean that out as well while we're here. And pretty easy to just make sure everything's working there. I did notice that the cart needed to get reinserted a few times for it to be red. I think that's actually the cart itself. It looks like it's got some corrosion in it as well. Just again, I think it was left in the case when the batteries were leaking, so don't know if there's any permanent damage to it, but it looks all right at the moment after a couple of inserts. There we go. So what we'll do, we've got I dropped everything on the ground there. I went on to Retro 6 and I picked up a replacement screen. Let's see if I don't have a pair of scissors here, so just going to chew my way through the packaging. Screen comes in a nice little packet, resealable. And there we go. I might leave, do I want to leave that on at the front? I guess so for now, but let's go ahead and take the inner seal off. Oh, it's like a complete inner seal. So I guess we take this off here. I kind of want to take the inner seal off as well because they're a bitch to get out once they're in the device. I guess it's a good way to keep it clean. Sticky as hell. See, I just want to see if I can line it up as best I can. Pretty good. I mean, it's not 100% perfect, but it's much better than it was. And having the glass on there means it's a lot easier to use. I always found that the plastics, you know, they're more prone to scratch and things like that, and the glass just gives it a better experience, more heft to the top of the screen as well, which is nice. But there we go, nice glass screen. From there, I'll go ahead and start reassembling. We go. Ideally, I would have a replacement seal in here as well for the screen, but the long-term plan is to get a IPS or a TFT display for these, so I won't worry too much about that at the moment. Now we're almost there. The last thing to clean up is the actual battery compartment. I'm going to use some of the alcohol that I was using earlier, just because it tears through the grime. There we go. So we have the battery terminal cleaned up here, the one on the board cleaned up pretty well. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it out like I was saying, but we managed to get most of the crap off of it anyway. Let me see, is there anything else I'm missing? No, I think that's it, right? Cool. Let's see if we can get it back together. There's some, it looks like someone's had a go at sort of gouging out most of the crap in here, and they've cut up the plastic pretty bad. But other than that, I think we should be pretty good. These terminals still aren't the straightest, but like compared to what I was looking at before, it's much better. Give this a clean along the top. Right, so here we go. It's worth mentioning that rechargeable batteries are never perfect for these. The Game Boy line uses a different, what do they want, like, I think it's 1.5 amps and these are only 1.2 or something like that. Is that what it is? Something along those lines. Like there's a different pull from the batteries that the Game Boy wants. Wrong way. Let's see. There we go. Much cleaner. Ideally, I would get a backlit screen in here. Is it gonna focus? But yeah, at the moment it is a little bit harder to get those as we're in quarantine still during 2020. So yeah, that will be the future plan. But yeah, there we go, cleaning it up, keeping the original shell. I quite like the purple and the little bit of age that has with it. But yeah, things are looking good, and the screen nice and clean with that Retro 6 glass on there. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, and yeah, coming with me on this adventure. I didn't break it this time, which is nice. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you soon.